Let's go through the first few lines of worksheet 5.1 together. On the first one, we're given a fraction 3/4, and we want to convert that to a decimal here and to a percent here. So we'll start by converting to a decimal. To do that, the first thing we want to do is just divide. Numerator divided by denominator, we get 3 divided by 4. Be sure that you're showing that on your work there. And then you punch that into your calculator and it gives you the answer 0.75. And that's all you need to do for that. Once you get the decimal, to convert it to a percent, we multiply by 100. And so we multiply 0.75 by 100. You can use the calculator, you can move the decimal 2 places to the right, and you get 75. 75 by itself is not good enough though. Since we're converting to a percent, we need to show that by putting the percent symbol on there. On the next one, we are given a decimal. We want to get the fraction over here and we want to get the percent here. So we'll start with the percent, that's the easy one. We actually did the same thing on this line here. When we had the decimal, we multiply by 100 to get the percent. So we do the same thing and we get 55%. For the fraction, we look at the decimal and we look at the last decimal place. And the place value, that 5 there, is in the hundredths place. And so that tells me that 100 is going to go in the denominator of the fraction. The numerator is just going to be the decimal but without the decimal point, so that's going to be our 55. That gives us the fraction 55 over 100. However, we do need to reduce that. We can reduce by 5, and it gives us the fraction 11 over 20. Be sure on this one that you're showing all your work. Show your initial fraction here, and then reduce it to its simplest terms. On the last one, we're given a percent, and we want to convert it to a decimal and to a fraction. On the first two, when we had the decimal, to get a percent, we multiply by 100. So we remember that percent means per 100. So well, let's do the fraction first. For the fraction, since percent means per 100, it's going to be 60 out of 100, or 60 over 100. That can reduce. They both end in 0, so we can reduce that by 10. We get 6 over 10, but we'll notice that they're still both even. So we can reduce by 2 and we get 3 over 5. To get the decimal, we just do the opposite of what we did here earlier. To go from a decimal to a percent, we multiply by 100. So to go from the percent back to the decimal, we divide by 100. And so when we divide by 100, we get 0.60, just moving the decimal 2 places to the right. Remember, if there is no decimal, the decimal is going to be after the number. So it would be 60 with the decimal point after. And if we have a number that has a 0 at the end of the number, but it's after the decimal point, we can get rid of that, so we don't need that 0 at the end. So we get 0.6. That's a little bit of a simpler answer, so that's the way we want to write it. The rest of the worksheet, you're going to be doing the same thing. You want to, anytime you're given the fraction, you want to convert that to a decimal and to a percent. Anytime you're given the decimal, you're going to convert that to a fraction and to a percent. And anytime you're given the percent, you're going to convert it to a decimal and a fraction.